Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Not Your Mother's Day Fantasy League podcast. I'm your host, Mike. As always, I'm joined by our analyst, Dave Buck. He does the research, so you don't have to. How we doing, Dave?
Hey, doing pretty good, Mike. Week 7 of the NFL is over. I think that's week 8 and 9 for us, something like that. But we're halfway through the seasons. Things are starting to shake out. Who the players are, who's falling behind, who's in the playoffs, who's not in the playoffs. Starting to get that divide between players and contenders, and the fake players.
Yeah, that is certainly true. And
Jordan,
we're getting
how
an
you doing,
idea.
brother? Good to see Jordan's on already.
Oh, yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate the participation when we do this. Let's real quick, let's start off just with the other stuff. So like Survivor, everybody moved forward and everybody took the Bills and Commanders.
Hey, interesting though that this is our third or fourth time to try this year, and I cannot believe we got 100% 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So
well, people are taking less risks now. The Bills definitely looking like a contender. And the Commanders playing a very weak Panthers team, looking like they may have the offensive rookie of the year. People are not taking chances here. And then just for fun, let's look at the pick'em. Whoops.
you got LA and Tampa tonight.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna take. Yeah, I think the Chargers defense might be able to make Murray make some mistakes, and I'm really just going off a home field advantage for the Bucks here, and that they can outscore the Ravens. So I didn't mean to start there. I meant to go here. Dave's still with a lead, but I've made a little progress this week. Not a lot, but some. One game.
Yeah, well, a bunch of us missed it on the San Francisco and New York Jets games yesterday. So kudos to you and the Bears for picking up 2 games on the rest of us.
Yeah, I can't pick against the Chiefs right now. I don't care where they're playing.
Hey, I have learned a long time ago to quit betting on my Falcons. I go and I bet them to pick them to win, and they laid an egg on me yesterday. So
that was exactly one of the reasons I brought this up, that you actually picked the Falcons.
I did, and I believe that's the first time except I did do it when they played the Panthers, but the rest of the time I usually don't do that. So,
yeah, oh yeah, Jordan, I'm well aware. The first few weeks were really rough. I mean, having a week of 5 and 7 will really get you behind. I got to have multiple double-digit weeks here to make some progress. Still a lot of time left. A lot can happen, being that it's just week 7. But we'll see. I'm still in the thick of the pack here. So that one, which one was it? Lost my train of thought. It was the Seahawks. Freaking man, they cost everybody their survival pick. And then of course they beat the Falcons on the road. So,
yeah.
Just you never know anymore. So all right, let's get to the stuff that matters. Let's get on to our week 7. Geez.
All right. Well, before we do that, before we get on that, we got some trades we got to go over.
Transactions. All right.
We had 13 of them this week. 13 trades. I almost ran out of paper writing them all down today. So I'll quickly go over these. And I think you're going to see a theme here, especially in the AFC. Those who aren't even contenders or not, they're starting to sell off, and you'll figure out who those are, Jason and Jared. But you'll figure out that some of them are starting to sell off. So first trade of the week, we had the Colts and the Patriots. Colts giving up Amari Cooper. Patriots giving up DeAndre Hopkins and a 2025 second. Then they followed that one up with the Bills and the Browns trade. Of course, the Browns are always trading. Dan's always trading. The Bills are trading away quarterback Derek Carr, DJ Chalk, and Cade Otton. Browns are trading away Geno Smith. Interesting, quarterbacks are being swapped around here. David Onyemata and a 2025 fifth-round pick. And then it starts to get a little bit interesting. We have a Patriots-Broncos trade where the Patriots end up giving up Andy Dalton, Nick's Red Rocket. Zach Moss, Ridley, Wandale Robinson, a 2025 first, a third, a 26 fifth in return for Aiden O'Connell, Alex Madison, Amon St. Brown, who's on the move, and Hassan Reddick, who hasn't played a snap yet. So Joey's all in. Bumped into him this week, and he is definitely all in, throwing out some draft picks, strengthening up his team. Then we got a trade between the Rams and the Lion, and this was the Mick trade. So Jalen McMillan for Jaleel McLaughlin. And then my big trade for the week was with the Packers. Green Bay Mike wanted to go all in, twisted my arm. And I gave up Jamar Chase, Nakobe Dean, and a 26 sixth-round pick. Walked away with Ladd McConkey, Michael Pittman, linebacker Cooper, and a 25 first and a 26 third. I think Mike's pretty happy with that since Nakobe Dean had 2 sacks yesterday, went off for 40 points, and Jamar Chase backed that up with a touchdown. So, yeah, that one kind of sucked. That'd probably do me really good to have those extra 60 points sitting on my team tonight, but we'll talk about that later. We have a taxi claim between the Lions and the Saints. Lions claiming Trey Tucker for a 2025 seventh. Actually, the Saints were claiming Trey Tucker. So
notorious Raiders fan there.
Yep. And then we got another one, Chiefs and Browns. You did a taxi snipe.
Yeah, Dontavian Wicks is looks pretty good when he can get targets.
Yep.
And who knows how long Christian Watson stays healthy.
So, yeah, I've been on that train wreck for a while. He's probably going to be a cap casualty by the end of the year. Then we got the Chargers and Bills, and this is another part of Jared unloading a lot of players, giving up Dexter Lawrence and Andre Van Ginkel and Eric Kendricks. And Bills giving up a 2025 first and a second. So the Bills, who I think still has a very deep roster, just got a little bit deeper roster. Yeah. For Jared, those are probably 2 late round, first and second round picks, but hey, they're there. So you can figure out who's packing it in already and who's going all in. So let's see. We got another one, another taxi claim between the Lions and the Packers, where the Lions are making a taxi claim on Michael Clemens, defensive end. Started him last night. Didn't do squat for me. Not happy about that. And then another taxi squad or taxi snipe. The Bucks, they sniped Jack Sanborn on me last night or this week for a 7th rounder. And then we got some more trades, 3 more to go through. So then the Broncos, they give up Antonio Gibson, Marshawn Nealand, linebacker Leofu, and a 2025 third in return for Harold Landry, a defensive end, and a 2025 6th and a 7th round pick to the Chargers. And then another interesting one was the Vikings and the 49ers. Vikings giving up defensive end Hines Allen and a 2026 second for the running back JT, Jonathan Taylor, on the move from the 49ers to the Vikings. So
need him to stay on the field.
Well, yeah, it was kind of funny. He made the trade for him, and then he's ruled out for the week. So
couldn't use him. Yeah,
that kind of sucks. But I've been on that JT train before. Not fun. And then we got another trade with the Chargers and the Broncos. Chargers giving up George Kittle, tight end. The Broncos giving up a 1st and 2 fifths to do that. So a lot of player movement this week. Those that aren't in it in the AFC are already cashing in and taking on some draft picks and cutting some payroll for next year. And those who are in the thick of it are taking on players and making themselves stronger.
Yeah, interesting here that Sean, who says that he's out of it and maybe should start looking towards next year, has dumped all his picks. So maybe I'll make some ground in the draft going into next season. All right. Yeah, lots of activity here. Obviously, a lot of teams deciding their fate this week before that trade deadline window closes on us.
So 49ers, Matt just chimed in. He said he played Allen this week, defensive tackle, and he proceeded to getting 4 points on that. That's my type of luck right there. So Matt, you probably got that from me. So that's usually the way my players work out.
Yeah, sure is.
Well, anyways,
Awesome.
we got some final games to go over. We have 2 games tonight. Still don't quite understand why the NFL is giving us 2 Monday night games, but it definitely spices things up when things are close and there's a lot of players left to be played.
Yeah. Well, Dave, it's clearly because the NFL values players' safety. So shortening the weeks allows
Yes,
them to recover faster. You know that.
yes,
Has
and
nothing to do with getting all that primetime money.
that and all the FanDuel money. So I mean,
Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Well, my matchup's first, but it's over. I had a dilemma this week where Fields got benched for Russell Wilson. And if you watched that game last night, you saw why. Their passing attack is much better with Wilson in there. So with Caleb Williams on a bye, I sent a few trade offers out. Some of those offers are still lingering, and one was rejected. So I had no quarterback to throw out there this week. But when I had a couple goose eggs and a few guys single digits, it wasn't going to matter. And Jim's got 7 to go tonight, so I'm toast.
and Jim's going to beat you with an illegal roster tonight. So we'll touch on that a little bit later. But
Right here.
guys, you got to start starters. Set on a memo tonight of just you can't be starting guys that are on buys. You can't be starting guys that are hurt, especially on when you're getting notification on Friday. And the
Yeah.
2 or 3 that were brought to my attention at the beginning of the week, I make a post for you guys to try to clean it up, and then you guys give me about 5 more of illegal rosters. So, geez, come on, guys.
Yeah, I'll throw this out there. Unfortunately, unlike ESPN, Yahoo, or other formats you may use, they do not put anything right here next to the player in your lineup, in your submit lineup screen. You actually have to click in and go down here to see this information here. You can of course get it from other sources, but my FL does not put it next to the player name like other sites do. So it's easy to be caught by that if you're not looking.
But I will say when you submit your lineup, it is on that screen.
Okay. Um. All right. So I'm taking an L. My season's about
All right,
done. I
well,
got
we got
another
you
week.
now. So I was going to break it to you, but I have Pittsburgh winning that game.
Okay. I hate that.
So
So thanks for rubbing it in.
no problem. So, anyways,
Uh,
let's kick it off with the Bengals. Woo!
this is over
Um,
too.
Nick is done. He's out of flares. That's the good thing. The bad news is Sean and his Broncos made all kinds of changes and traded away all of his draft picks this weekend, this upcoming week, and he still finds himself down 112 points with 3 players left.
Gosh.
He's got Trey McBride and a kicker and a safety, Jalen Thompson, but that's not going to be good enough for 112 points. I know Sean didn't want to talk about it because it was more like flag football, but Sean, you're playing more like the Powder Puff team than a flag football team. So sorry, bud. See you on the pickleball courts.
Yeah. All right. Let's find one that might be interesting. This one could flip.
I don't think so. It is going to flip. Let's put it that way. It is going to flip. Sorry, Dan. Dan, you're up by 23. You got 2 left. You got Kate Otten and Kazi White, linebacker. But the Raiders sitting at 7-1. He's got 4 left. He has found the point guru, Baker Mayfield, tonight. That's probably enough points to do it when he spends his magic tonight. He's got a receiver, not sure which one. Probably doesn't matter. They're probably equal, both Johnston and McConkey. Safety Kyle Hamilton, and then Roquan Smith. Plenty of firepower left to overcome the 23 points. Interesting thing, though, I want to point out, I didn't notice this until I looked at Dan's team today. He's been running a 5-wide spread. He has no running backs on his active roster.
Wow.
None.
Taking it to the extreme.
Yes, very extreme. He's got a buttload of receivers, but not one active running back on his roster.
Wow. This was kind of like what I tried to do last year.
So,
Wow.
anyways,
Uh,
Matt's probably going to be going to 8-1 this weekend. Probably not his best point total, but he will survive it and move forward.
yeah, tough sledding to get 2.2 out of Tank Dell and then point 0.8 out of Devonta Smith. Man. Whew.
Yeah, that's not getting it done. And a
Yeah.
0 out of Juju.
Yeah. Yeah.
By
Like
the way,
goose
that's
eggs out of him, like not as surprising, but you got to expect something out of Devonta and Tank Dell. That's bad.
correct.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the Ravens and Chargers. It looks like the Ravens are going to pull away here.
Ravens are up by 37. Ravens have got, he's got the coach, but he's also got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I think that is plenty enough to finish off
That's
this
enough.
game.
Yep.
But he also has Chris Barnes and Jordan Whitehead left. Chargers just have a coach and offense and Mac Wilson left. Not going to get it done. But I do want to highlight something. I doubt if Gavin knows this yet. Just doing a little looking at his team earlier today. Since as a league we haven't discussed our week 14. Our playoffs actually start week 14, and teams are going to be on buys. There's going to be buys that week. The Ravens, the NFL Ravens, are on a bye that weekend.
Oh,
So if Gavin ends up making the playoffs, he's probably not going to win the North with Cincinnati in
oh,
front of him. But if he makes the playoffs, half of his team, including his quarterback and his running back and his
yeah.
coach, um, he, he's not gonna have much of a roster to play.
He's cooked.
So
Wow.
one of the bad things about the league is we did not address the fact
Oh,
how we're
man.
going to deal with week 14, except for you better plan for it. So Gavin, I'm telling you, you better plan for it if you're planning on making the playoffs.
I can trade you some guys that might be able to help you that week.
So
Um, yeah, that's rough. This one here, this is over.
this one's over. Pair of 2-6 teams coming in here. Uh, pair of powerhouses last couple of years, but not this year. Sitting at 2-6. Jets are final. Braxton's going to check in with an illegal roster also. 218 points. And Tennessee's up by 39. He's got two players left. It really doesn't matter who they are because they're not going to go negative 41 or 31, 41. So there's a victory for Dustin and his Titans.
This is a bit of a changing of the guard, isn't it? Dustin and Sean's team both struggling this year.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Dolphins, they have enough to cinch this one tonight.
I think they do. Here again, you got a pair of 5-3 teams. Rich is sitting there at 5-3. 5-3. He's doing everything he can to stay up with Joey and his powerhouse, and Bill's Jeremy with his powerhouse team, and Rich is staying right there with him. Rich is up by 31. He's got three players left: Mike Evans, Khalil Mack, and Levante David. Jags have got two players left: James Conner and a punter, but not going to get that done.
Wow, Daniels get hurt in this game. I didn't get to see that one.
Daniels did get hurt in that game, yes.
Wow.
And the next Atlanta Falcon quarterback comes through for him.
Yeah,
So,
and then they still drop 40 on the Panthers because they're dog water.
yep.
All right, moving on. Looks like the Patriots are probably going to pull away here.
All right. Yes, we got Patriots and Texans against Joey's buying all the good players, hiding out his draft picks, making his team stronger, playing the 3-5 Texans. Joey's up by 42. He's got Zay Flowers, a punter, and a cornerback left. Either McCollum or Williams, his choice. I wasn't going to try to figure it out. Texans have four players left. Also, Chris Godwin, another wide receiver, kicker, and defensive end Kyle Van Noy. Not enough to overcome the 42 points that the Patriots have gotten with what he's got left. So Joey's going to get the victory in this one.
It does look like it. All right. So the last one in the AFC looks like it's going to be the Bills possibly putting up the highest score this week.
Yeah, the Bills have got 121 points. He's up by 121 points over Jason and his Colts. Jason's another team that's starting to pack it in, starting to trade his players away, getting some draft picks. Not quite sure what Jason's going to do with that draft pick because memory serves me right. He's been to 2 drafts. I've never seen him use one of those draft picks. He usually comes to the draft without them. Jason, I'm hoping that you're not trying really hard to get that pink license plate frame back, but selling players off and not winning games, that's a good recipe to get that license plate back.
That'll
So
do it.
you need a victory to get out of that spot there, buddy.
Yeah, his coach was one of his highest scorers.
That's scary.
Yeah. All right. That is, man, they put more pop-up ads in this website now. All right. So that was the last match at the AFC. Let's move over to the NFC where the Bears might be able to mount a comeback here.
Yes, but pair of 5-3 teams, Chicago Bears and his Mikes, they want to try to stay close to the Green Bay Packers in that tough NFC North. 49ers sitting on top of the West out there at 5-3, so it's a good matchup. San Francisco's out of players. He's got 308 for the score, which is a good score for the week. He's up by 29, but Chicago has wide receivers Mike Evans and Zay Flowers left and a punter. So at 29 points, very easily within reason for the Bears to get that game done.
Yeah, it's definitely tough when your QB goes down mid-game. I did not see how serious the injury is, but based on your backups, you got to hope he has a swift recovery here. Aaron Rodgers is looking washed.
Well, Mike, it's better for your quarterback to go down than for your quarterback to never show up.
Well, there is that. That's true. I got a goose egg out of all mine, so I can't say anything.
Hey, I only got 7 points out of my quarterback this week, and he played the whole game.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Luke.
Next game here, we got Detroit coming in at 4-4, Seattle 2-6. Jordan and his Lions are up by 53. He's got a coach. He's got the wizard Baker Mayfield left, Isaiah Likely, Daniel Henley. He's got a lot of firepower left, and not enough for Josh to overcome tonight.
Ouch. When was Etienne declared out? I think it was kind of last minute.
Yes, Etienne was last minute scratch.
Yeah, that was a tough one. And I don't think Jacoby Myers, I think he's just bad. Nope, he was out. But he's also bad.
He was also a half hour before game. It was a game time decision.
That's tough.
Which
I don't get a chance. I don't get a chance to make last minute substitutions on a lot of Sundays myself, so I can't give guys a hard time about it. All right. Packers and Cardinals. Packers are going to run away with this one.
Again, Packers came in. They're 8-0. Gave me a little bit of crap. He fell in the power rankings that I had him down. I think he was down to 10 or something like that. So we went out, got him some firepower. Raped me pretty good for Jamar Chase and Nakobe Dean, and they freaking went off. Something about Dean and Jamar, they want new ownership, new coaching. They didn't like where they came from. I don't care. Get them out of here. They're garbage. So anyways, it's a good pickup for Mike and his Packers. He's up by 93. Arizona, he's got a coach, and Junior Colson left. Not enough to come back on that. So Green Bay Mike, he's going to go to 9-0. He is all in this year, looking for that number one seed in the NFC, which will get him a bye and a payout.
Nice. All right, moving on here. Does Hayden have enough to come back?
Well, the Vikings are okay. Vikings come in at 5-3. The Rams 3-5. Rams currently up by 52. He's got a kicker left, and his kicker's averaging 8.8 points. So let's just call it 8 points. He's up by 60 points. Rams are up by 60 points. Minnesota's got 4 players left. He's got a coach. He's got Derrick Henry, Rashad Bateman, and a safety, Marcus Williams. Derrick Henry puts up a 30 spot tonight. Possibly could overcome that. So if he can get 10 points out of his other players. So it'll be tough to do, but it's doable, especially if Henry goes off tonight.
It sounds like his only path is for Henry to just go off. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the Cowboys. The battle of the brothers here.
Brothers battle. Dallas, he's up by 66 points over Dustin. So Donnie's over Dustin by 60-some points. Dallas, they both have 4 players left. Dallas has got J.K. Dobbins, Bucky Irving, Marvin Harris Jr., and Levante David. I think you'd have a hard time finding another 4 available players unless it was Gavin's Ravens or something like that had Lamar Jackson and Henry to go back and forth. But Tampa Bay's got Kyler Murray. He's got a kicker. He's got an offense and a cornerback left. So not enough for Dustin to take over for bragging rights come Thanksgiving dinner when they get to talk about football.
Yeah, Donnie here losing points with his kicker, unfortunately. And I just got to say, at the beginning of the year, if you would have told me this far into the season that the combo of Tank Dell, Tyreek, and Xavier Worthy would net you 13 points, I would have called you crazy.
That is crazy.
That's tough, man. It's yeah. I'm there with you. I got that combo in some other leagues. Moving on to Dave's matchup here. This is juicy.
This one is a barn burner. Philly and I, Shannon, we've gone back and forth all weekend long. This game really is going to suck for one of us. We're both forecasting. We both got 4 players left. We're both sitting 5-3 on the fringe of the playoffs in a wild card spot. I'm trying to keep up with Carolina and Flick. Philly's up by 4. He's got 4 left. He's got safety Antonio Winfield, linebacker and Kazir White, Mac Wilson, and defensive tackle Cansey left. I've got McConkey, McBride, Kyle Hamilton, and Tyke Smith left. We're both forecasting in the 330s for a game here. And I texted him today. I said, what's really going to suck is one of us is going to lose putting up a 330 spot this weekend, most likely, which would probably beat 3/4 of the league. But
yeah,
just a bad schedule draw. It's a good game. I'm tired of tight, close games, but yeah, that's why we play, right?
Matchup luck can get you.
I go back to if I just had Nakobe Dean and Jamar Chase in this league in this game before the trade, a little bit different outcome, but who knows?
Yeah, that is true.
And I'll also say that just want to point out, this is McConkey's first debut in the MDFL NFC. So he was never good enough to play for the Packers. So I'm starting him first week on my roster. Hopefully he goes off. Maybe he likes some new ownership. Maybe he can get me a touchdown or 2 or 3, just enough to keep me ahead of Shannon.
You've been giving him a few motivational speeches today.
I have, and he doesn't like being cut. He saw what Dean did for Green Bay. So we'll see.
All right.
Anyways, this one's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, this is the one to watch for sure.
Yeah.
2 5-3 teams duking it out for potentially highest scores of the week as well. All right, 2 more.
Washington, New Orleans, 1 point difference. This is on right up front. It looks really close, and this could be a great matchup to watch. But when you start to break it down, not really, because Washington's got 1 more left. He's got Lamar Jackson. That kind of trumps everything else that's going to happen tonight. New Orleans, he's got safety Jordan Whitehead back and defensive end Yaya Diaby left. That's not going to cancel out what Lamar will do.
No, not against the Buccaneers defense.
So it looks really good right now unless Lamar pulls a hammy or something like that, and somebody else got to play. But
I don't know. This game smells like a shootout, but then when that happens and it seems too obvious, watch it be a 17-14 game.
Yep.
All right, last one here. Adam finds himself in a hole against the underdog Giants.
This one's an interesting one. Giants are complete. Again, uh, Caleb comes in at 1-7. Do want to point out that one win was against the uh, the Bengals against Nick. So kudos to Caleb for this. Yeah. And he's looking to take down another one tonight. And Adam. So Donnie or Caleb is complete. The Panthers got 2 players left. They've got a defensive end from Baltimore, Dufe Owich. Can't pronounce it. And then he's got his choice, either a cornerback or a linebacker, either Chris Barnes or Zion McCollum, his choice. Whether or not he can make up those 46 points, that's going to be tough to do there. So, not going to say it can't be done, but it'll be close.
Yeah. Man, the Giants are giant killers, is what you're saying.
Yep.
All right.
Probably, I haven't looked, but you would hope that the Green Bay Packers probably better not be looking to have the Giants on their schedule, because if the Giants are big team hunters, he's probably hunting down the Packers here pretty soon.
No kidding. All right, so just for fun, I always find it fun to look at who the highest scorers were this week. And there were not any gigantic scores from offensive players this week. It's one of the reasons I wanted to look at this. They had a couple good days from some running backs, but no quarterbacks, no wide receivers really went off at all this week.
Unless you've been traded from the Falcons to the Packers and your name is Nakobe. Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. That's tough.
I wouldn't have traded him if he was still putting up numbers like that for me.
And Van Ginkel was included in the trade too.
Yeah, he was.
And man, if only somebody had known that Bijan Robinson was good, man.
If only I had a jersey. Oh, but I guess that only plays in the NFC. I guess he has no value in the AFC, so people just don't know who he is.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we should have all. I should have went after Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Geez. All right, there you go. That is our Week 9 recap. We definitely got some interesting matchups, especially you, Dave, tonight. You're going to be on
probably won't get much sleep tonight. So.
That's a good one. Just for fun, since we whipped through these at a pretty good pace, let's check out Week 10. Okay, is it a doubleheader week? It is not.
It is. Week 10 is a doubleheader weekend for us. So next week, no, roll back. I think we're Week 8.
Oh, I'm week. Yeah, yep. I'm a week ahead.
That's a doubleheader weekend. That's our next interleague week. So that's our second of the 2 interleague weeks that we have with interconference. But I do want to show up right now that the NFC currently leads the AFC 17-15 in matchups. So right now the NFC is the superior team to the AFC.
Let's not get carried away here.
I'm just it's close, but the slight advantage is 17-15. We'll see how it shakes out after next week. See if that changes things. And of course, once we have a Super Bowl winner, I guess that's the super bragging rights for the year. But hopefully it's as close as what it was a couple weeks ago when we did an interleague. One conference, one league playing against the other league.
You're going to need a little bit more than a 2-game lead to accept that superior tag there.
I agree, but it's a little bit. Okay, keep in mind that you guys are in your 3rd year. The NFC is still in its rookie year, so we're still trying to find ourselves, still trying to learn it. So,
all right. Interestingly enough, didn't you say that the Giants already beat the Bengals? Is this a rematch?
Oh, maybe it was Dallas. Maybe it was Dallas that beat him.
Okay,
maybe it was Dallas that beat him. It was a team that got their first win, and he only had one, so it might have been Dallas. But anyways, we'll be rooting for Caleb next week.
There you go. Yes, we definitely will be.
And Dan, the
Uh,
Commanders, we are rooting for you
and
also.
Dan. Yep,
Who does Nick
absolutely.
also have? Who's Nick's other game?
Commanders and Giants right there.
Okay, so that's who we'll be rooting for next week: Commanders and
Yep,
Giants.
yep, absolutely. I get both of my matchups against the NFC South, so I'll try to help you out, Dave.
I'd appreciate it. Looks like you're a dog against the Panthers, where I need the help.
Yeah, as I should be. My team has just lost too many good players. What else we got here that's interesting? This one's kind of interesting right here. The upstart Ravens. You got to watch out for this team right now.
Yeah, yeah, Gavin's got it going well. So he's made some changes, picked up some players. He's been active. He's improved that team. And what's not to like with the two-headed monster of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry?
Let's look at the undefeated Packers and see if somebody's got a shot at knocking them off their post. Here we go. So
Well, if it is,
he's
it'll be an
got
AFC team.
so Dustin's got to try to take him out. I will never rule him out.
And Jags have got a chance too.
Ooh, that's a good matchup right
Right
there.
now,
That's
on
really
on paper, their average points are about 3 points of difference, so they're scoring about the same
ooh.
average. Keep in mind that Packers have just picked up some more ammo in Jamar Chase
Mhm.
and Kobe Dean, so that might help him a little bit. But
I'll call it right now. These are your two matchups of the week. Bills versus Niners, Jags versus Packers.
could
Good
be a good
stuff.
one.
All right. Anything else you want to add, Dave?
Well, I just want to go back to say, guys, read the bylaws, get your lineup straight. Okay, don't be starting players that are out. Bylaws say you're allowed to have 24-hour notice. So if you get notified on Friday they're not playing, you put somebody else in there. Um, I'm just going to give a hint to all the listeners. This is for my NFC listeners that I'm paid attention to. I'm not going to say any names, but I'll just say that there's three of us, not including myself, that only have one kicker on the roster, and all three of your rosters are on all three of your kickers are on a bye in week 10. Okay, so you might want to start looking at that because I looked at it today. There's only one available kicker on the free agent list. So you may have to do some dealing so you have a legal roster. Again, the violation of illegal roster is a 3% cap hit that applies to the following year. What that means, this year's salary cap is $255 million. So if you had a 3% cap hit from last year, you're basically pissing away $7.5 million that you don't get to spend because you had an illegal roster.
Yep,
So,
that's a tough one.
anyways, get
Sounds like
the lineups in, get them straight. Let's try not to make starting players that are out or on buys. Do your best to have a legal roster in there.
absolutely. They seem meaningless, but that is why I started the season with two of each.
Yep.
But and they're cheap.
So that's what
Uh,
I've got tonight. Hey, there's two football games on tonight.
yeah,
One's starting at I think at 8:15. The other one's at 9:00. So we got Ravens, Buccaneers, Chargers, Cardinals tonight.
should be some good games for sure.
Yep.
Now I got to debate whether I want to flip flop my pick'em picks, but I'm not. I'm staying pat. That's how I catch up with bold picks.
That is how you that. And I will tell you what. Take advice from me. Don't pick the Atlanta Falcons. Okay. That works
Well,
for me. And this is what happens when I pick them.
can you just tell me on the weeks that you're picking the Falcons so I know ahead of time?
Man, I really thought they had a chance to beat the Seahawks, but
I
they
did
just
too.
showed up to be a free. Falcons are going to Falcon. That's just all it is. So it's rough being a Falcon fan. So
Only one person picked the Seahawks. Man. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us, guys. Enjoy the games tonight. And we will see you back here next week.
see you out next week. I'll have a new power ranking out tomorrow. Should have sometime tomorrow. get ready for a doubleheader weekend, and probably going to see a little bit more widening of. We'll get a little bit better picture of the playoff race probably after next week. Who's where, and who's on the bubble and stuff like that. So, got a lot of good stuff going on in the MDFL.
Indeed. Good luck to everybody that's still alive. It ain't me.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.